Hey there, it's Jared again, here to give you 43 of the sweetest insider tips to help you get good at Spellbreak. By the way, big thanks to the devs over at Proletariat for having a chat with me and hooking me up with all the tips and tricks that we need to know to win their intense spell-flinging battle royale. The devs and I felt it would be best to start by going over the 8 unique classes in this game, all their strengths, weaknesses, and combos before going into any general combat tips. Why don't we start off with Proletariat CEO Seth Civic's favorite class, the Stone Shapers. Okay, right off the bat, I don't mean any disrespect with this tip, but Stone Shaper is a great class for any of us out there who might be a little bit aiming averse. Because their main attack is ground-based, you don't have to worry about aiming vertically. As long as you can handle side-to-side tracking, you should be able to pump out pretty sizable damage. Now, it should go without saying that high ground is great for any of the classes in this game, but it's especially important for Stone Shapers. The rock trail on your shockwave travels way further downhill than it does uphill, so make sure that you're doing your best to use height to your advantage. Did you know that Stone Shapers have an ability that just give them 20 free armor anytime they have less than 20 armor? All they gotta do is smash the ground a couple times and there you go. They're a little bit beefier, and that is especially great early game. Moving right along to one of my personal favorite classes, the Pyromancers. They do so much damage. I love them. One of the perks of being a Pyromancer is that your fireballs explode 200% bigger than anyone running around with Fire Gauntlet on their offhand. Those explosions are massive and honestly have gotten me kills so many times when I probably didn't deserve them. The Pyromancer's Firewall ability is great because you can use it offensively or defensively. Because firewalls have the ability to block both vision and projectiles, they're really great to use for cover if you need to get a quick res off, pop a shield potion, or you know what? Secure that exile mid-fight. Who cares? Starting at level 2, Pyromancers can run through their firewalls for a quick burst of flight, and while you can't do this through enemy walls, it does work through friendlies, regardless if they're a Pyro main or using it offhand. Moving right along to possibly my favorite class in the whole game, Toxicologists. With Toxicologists, if you're not in the opponent's face, you're just not doing it right. You can think of the Toxic Spray as sort of a shotgun projectile. Each blob does individual damage, so getting up close and making sure that all of them hit an enemy at once will do a lot of damage in a really short amount of time. Toxicologists, along with Pyromancers and Tempests, get a really nice movement ability at level 2. For the toxic ones, throw a cloud down and dash into it. It won't hurt you anymore, it'll actually make you invisible and give you burst of speed. You get all that extra mobility and you don't even need a rune. What's next? What's next? Ah, yes, the Conduits. This class is perfect for the type of mage that loves to get into trouble and then immediately get right back out of it. The Conduit class is special because their lightning attack gets increased damage over time. For anyone main-handing a lightning gauntlet, once you've started attacking, every subsequent lightning bolt will deal more and more damage, and this only resets once you stop firing. So at higher gauntlet rarities and with a larger mana pool, this buff will shred through enemies. I'd say more than any other class in the game, Conduits really love them some runes. After casting Lightning Strike, Conduits get a recharge on their rune, which can be an absolute nightmare for their enemies. Especially with flight or invisibility runes, good luck pinning a Conduit down after level 2. Speaking of Lightning Strike, any of your abilities or combos that shock opponents will take them right out of the sky, giving you a split second to land your offhand way more easily. Okay, this one is super situational, and also I have never used it, so I probably don't have footage of it under here, but according to the developers, a perfectly timed Lightning Strike will stop Shockwave right in its tracks. Okay, let's discuss the quote, Uber drivers of the HoloLands, the Frostborn class. Ice skating for everyone! There's nothing quite like skating through the HoloLands at breakneck speed with your entire team and then turning around to see your ice trail melt into a puddle of water right before an opponent can hop on and chase you. If your squad feels like they can't ever find boots at the beginning of a match, just bring a Frostborn. Because of the way that elements interact with each other in Spellbreak, you can use your Tundra sorcery to deflect fireballs, wind shears, and lightning bolts for its entire duration, which just so happens to be long enough to drink a potion. Last up, we have the class that the developers insist is the toughest to master. It's the Tempests. If you're a Tempest class, forget levitating. It's all about the wall jumps. Tempests can use their basic spell attack to propel themselves vertically up almost any surface in the HoloLands, and it'll get you way higher than if you just tried to levitate. Also, if you want to main Tempest class, you gotta learn to stay airborne for real. All of the Tempest specific class perks activate when you're off the ground. So if you're running Tempest, you're only gonna be getting full value out of that class if you get used to staying in the air all of the time. Okay, so now that we've gone over all the Spellbreak classes, here are a few of my and the devs' favorite gauntlet combos. Up first is my favorite gauntlet combo, Fire and Toxic. This combo lets you put out massive damage from medium to close range, and pretty much all of their spells will synergize together. Plus, both classes have a built-in movement ability after level 2, so you have a lot of options to play around with what rune you want to equip. Another great combo is running a Tempest class and a Frost offhand gauntlet. As a high-flying sniper, if your aim is true, you'll be nearly impossible to beat. With the highest mobility class in the game, plus the longest range gauntlet, enemies will have a tough enough time getting near you, let alone finishing you off. Another great pairing is running Frostborn and then choosing a Lightning Gauntlet for your offhand. Not only do these two classes have the strongest crowd control abilities in the game, but they also have the longest ranged spells. So together, they're pretty damn powerful against enemies both in the sky and on the ground. Lastly, the devs really love the combo of Fire and Stone Gauntlets. Shooting your Shockwave through a flame wall causes the whole trail to light ablaze, dealing way more damage than either of those abilities on their own and covering the entire battlefield in flames. Okay, so gameplay tips. Where do we even start? I'm attempting to categorize these as early, mid, and late game tips, but if any of these feel out of place, feel free to not at me in the comments. I'm feeling very fragile today. First of all, if you're not looking for a fight right when you land, dropping around the perimeter of the map can be very advantageous. You're likely to find fewer fights, giving you a good chance to loot as you move in towards the center of the circle. Also, the devs told me that the edge of the map is littered with epic chests, so why not start there? Unlike in other battle royale games where there's a trick to landing faster than your opponents, everyone in Spellbreak falls at the same rate, so if you want to get down earlier, just land higher. Especially if you're dropping in a potentially crowded area, look for higher ground or a tall spire to land on. This is especially great when landing near chests because some people will try to land directly on top of a chest, while you can land directly above those people and just start pumping them full of damage before they even know what's happening. So I know that I said that you should land around the edge of the map, but if you're the kind of person who hungers for early game skirmishes, you'll definitely find them if you land close to mana vaults or any of the large castles on the map. More than any other equipment in the game, belts are so important to pick up as soon as you land. Early game skirmishes, especially right after dropping in, are often really close matches, so if you can grab a quick belt or just be a stone shaper, you'll have a solid advantage over your opponents. Okay, when you're dropping in, it's best to think about what terrain is going to benefit your current class. Because of their shorter range, if you're running Tox or Wind, you'll do best landing in more enclosed areas like castles or villages, whereas Fire and Ice will do better landing in open areas because of their long range, and well, fireballs exploding in your face if you fire one down a hallway is not great. Electric and Stone classes can hold their own at close and far range, so feel free to land wherever the hell you want. Okay, so you've landed in the perfect spot, you found a belt, and you're ready to start fighting. Let's talk mid-game tips. First off, you're going to want to be mindful of what the devs call background terrain. Whether it's the walls of a castle or the side of a cliff, background terrain makes it easy for anyone with an area of effect ability to get a hit on you, even if they miss, as the attack will explode on the wall and still do splash damage. In Spellbreak, moving unpredictably is one of the most important ways to get ahead, and sorceries can help you do that. While falling, you're usually moving at a constant rate. If you want to stay difficult to hit, you can aim your sorceries midair, which causes you to hover without requiring you to use mana for levitating. You might have noticed that none of the runes in the game are offensive abilities. At first, I thought that I'd be able to fly further or teleport further distances, but all that rune rarity is doing is affecting the cooldowns. It's going to be a good idea to familiarize yourself with the cooldown reduction of your favorite runes so that it's easier to maintain control of your ability cooldowns as you get rarer ones. If your sorceries or runes are on cooldown and you spot a juicy target out in the open, fight the urge. Don't engage! Unless you've seen them recently use their own rune, you have no idea what kind of escape tool they'll have when you jump on them. Wait until you have all your abilities ready so you can follow up if they try to run away or flip the script on you. Okay, along with engaging, it's also really good to know when it's best to disengage. Spells hit so hard in this game, it's not totally uncommon to go from winning a fight to getting your pants burned down to 2 HP. It's good to learn to recognize when you're outmatched or outgunned and use your movement abilities to run away, hide, or maybe get some time to drink some shield or health potions before re-engaging. It's always a good idea to keep an eye out for enemies that are trying to go for cheeky resurrections during team fights. Resurrecting takes a little bit of time, and also you have to stay completely still while you do it, so it's really easy to pump major damage into someone attempting one out in the open. Okay, I know it can be really tempting, but just don't be a loot weasel mid-fight. I don't care if you have 2 common gauntlets and you see an epic 20 meters to the left when your team is fighting off to your right. You run to your team and you help them. Having a number advantage in fights can be everything, so loot in between fights, not during them. Knowing what your opponents are capable of is an invaluable tool in Spellbreak. Take mental note of any runes and sorceries you see your enemy using and think about how to counter them. Running up on someone with a poison gauntlet? Stay back, pepper them from a distance. Are they main-handing ice and don't have a second gauntlet? Run up in their face. I don't know if this is super obvious or not, but the belt of that person you just killed is gonna be empty. Say you have 16 armor left in the belt that you have. You pick up a belt on someone you just killed, you'll still have 16 armor, but have a larger pool of armor to fill after that. Honestly, more important than most of these tips, just get in that circle. Leveling up mid-match by crossing over the safe zone threshold gives you such a leg up on enemies still making their way into the circle. We're doing it! We're surviving! Here are all the tips I've got for coming out on top at the end of a match. I just gotta say, there is no shame in letting other opponents take aggro when you've taken too many hits to the face. Especially near the end of the game, if you pick a fight and then start losing it, the best way to get free is to get someone else involved. If your opponent has multiple people to focus on, it'll be easier for you to slip away and pop a potion or two before you re-engage. Okay, this might sound silly, but don't underestimate the power of a bush. When everyone is running around like crazy, spamming spells during endgame, it's pretty easy for you to dash out of sight and into a bush to buy yourself some time to wait out cooldowns or pop some potions. Speaking of which, as the devs told me, always be drinking. It's easy to underestimate the power of potions during the frenzy that is the final circle. Any free moment you get in battle to chug a shield or health potion, take it. You never know when 10 extra shields will mean the difference between coming in first and second place. When fighting in the final circle, just expect people to be in the air a lot. Everyone in the final circle will have their full set of class skills unlocked, which means everyone will be pretty damn mobile. So plan accordingly and make sure you enter that final circle with at least 1 or 2 anti-air abilities in your arsenal. Speaking of high flyers, just try your best not to find yourself at the bottom of a hill. Spells go further downhill, it's harder to aim at people above you, yada yada. While height is an advantage throughout the entire match, it's especially important in the final circle. I don't know who needs to hear this, but just keep breathing and don't spam your spells and abilities. Using your abilities when you've got a clean shot or waiting just a split second longer for an enemy to hit the ground is really what makes a winner at the end of the day. Having all your abilities on cooldown at the same time with 0 mana feels bad, man. And last but not least, have fun. It is so easy to get tilted while playing Battle Royale games. So if you feel like you're just landing over and over again and losing every single battle, just take a break, go get some water, and come back at it with a fresh mind. You're bound to not only enjoy playing the game more, but you're more likely to do better too. Well, folks, those are all the tips the devs and I have for you today, so let's drop into the Hololands and start securing those exiles. Good luck, and happy spell breaking. Hey guys, Jared here. I hope you liked that video. If you did, leave us a like. Make sure to subscribe and check out the other videos that we got hanging out on our channel. They're all pretty fun.